Alan, you got to see Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. I would love to hear what your thoughts are. Alan, what did you think? What did you think of Pinocchio? And I'd also like to hear not just your review of Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. I want to hear a comparison to the new Disney Pinocchio starring Tom Hanks that's currently playing on Disney Plus.
Yeah, no, I liked Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. I'll temper by saying I enjoyed watching it once. I'm not sure that I'm going to get drawn into seeing it again. But in terms of its stop motion animation, it's absolutely gorgeous. They were really pressing upon us the fact that it's not just the body motions that are animated, but it's a lot of microfacial expressions. And so you're getting a much more personal performance out of these puppets. And it starts off, it in no way tries to be a Disney Pinocchio. It tries to be Guillermo del Toro's interpretation of the original Pinocchio. So it's basically about a father whose son dies in a bombing during World War I, and he's so heartbroken that he creates Pinocchio, his son, and he comes to life. I'm trying to remember exactly how he comes to life. Oh yeah, there's a spiritual realm that brings this Pinocchio to life, and so he's it's kind of funny. I've got to set it up like this. This movie takes place in Italy at the rise of the Mussolini fascist empire, and so a lot of that plays into this. So Geppetto all of a sudden has this puppet as a son, and the townspeople are kind of bullying him. But one of the representatives of the town says no, he would make a great military soldier, and so the town, the guy running the town requires him to put him in school, and then you have Christoph Waltz, who plays the Stromboli type character, the one who's trying to make money, and basically gets Pinocchio to sign a deal that he'll perform with him. So that's where you kind of get this the similarities with the original story. But here's where it gets crazy. Pleasure Island, the Pleasure Island part of the story. He does not go to an island where boys have fun. He goes to a fascist military boys camp, and that's Pleasure Island. And so I'll just leave it at that by saying, this is exactly what you would expect from Guillermo del Toro in terms of Pinocchio film. I think the twist that he puts on this movie is that it's not Pinocchio who kind of has this arc and has to learn to be a real boy, but it's about the people that Pinocchio comes into contact with who change, who have to change in order to accept him as a real boy, and his kind of childish outlook on life. And then I will say one thing that will stand out when you watch this movie. Pinocchio, throughout most of the first half, acts like a spoiled brat. Does not want to listen to his father, does not want to listen to anybody, does what he wants to do. And all that just creates this really interesting dynamic and storytelling that I think only Guillermo del Toro can tell. And so it's not going to be everyone's cup of tea, but it's I would say it's a very intriguing and fascinating take on the Pinocchio story. Animation is fantastic in this. The detail is incredible, and I'd seen smoother animation, but I think this one is just right up there.
Well, so do you recommend the movie?
I do. It's it's one of those recommendations of, if this sounds interesting to you, then go ahead and see it. I saw a comment there about politics. There's really not politics in it. It's just it's interesting to see how Mussolini plays a part in this movie, and how Italian Mussolini fascism was taking over Italy at that time. But I don't think there's really a political message, so to speak, that would ruffle feathers.
Well, I have a question. It seems really dark. this movie seems dark. How does it compare to like other? I love stop motion animation.
Mhm.
I used to make stop motion animated movies when I was a kid. I
Yeah.
actually made a bunch of stop motion films, and and so I've always admired stop motion.
Mhm.
I love the old Rankin Bass, you know, Rudolph the Red-Nosed
Yeah.
Reindeer, Santa Claus is Coming to Town, like The Year Without a Santa Claus. I love
Yeah.
those. Stop motion has always fascinated me because you literally are making the movie one frame at a time. How does it compare to something like Box Trolls, which was
Well,
also kind of dark?
yeah, I mean, the people who did Box Trolls did this one.
Oh, well,
So
then it makes a lot of sense.
yeah, absolutely. And and if compared to someone else, probably the Henry Selick and Tim Burton collaborations. There's a definite feel and tone from that as well.